You know, this new headset feels tight around my neck. Anyway, hello internet, I'm your only mate, and it's time for a death battle! This time we have Smokey the Bear versus Mcgruff the Crime Dog. After 3 years of waiting, they are finally doing this fight. And now, as I should say with all of my reaction videos, please click the link in the description below to go watch the actual episode yourself. Like, subscribe, all of that stuff. Then come back to watch this video. Okay? Good. Support the official release. Okay, I'm just going to throw this out of the way now. This is the last video that I'm going to be recording in my current house, because for those who don't follow me on Twitter, I'm moving. This week, in fact. So, next time I do a video... Well, no, the next video I'm doing after this, where you'll actually see me, is the Chibi episode. But I'm going to be recording this week's episode at my new house. New setup and everything like that. So, yeah, just getting out of the way. Anyway, how do I know these characters? Well, that's the point. That's the thing. I did not. I mean, I knew that they existed and I knew their names. And their catchphrases, only you can prevent forest fires and I take a bite out of crime. But that's literally it. Because I live in England, so we didn't really have Smokey or Mcgruff over here. But from some things I've heard, like, mostly about Smokey, like from a friend of mine, I heard that his origin is something to do with a bear cub that survived the forest fire, but his paws were burnt. And that he convinced the Addams family not to burn down the forest. That is impressive. So, yeah, I mean, I'm expecting them to bring that up for that. And, oh, also, Mcgruff may or may not have a gun. I hear conflicting things on that. But, anyway, I'm mostly excited for this episode because of the animation. It's going to be a 2D hand-drawn flash animation. For the first time ever in Death Battle. And from what I've seen of it, it looks really good. So, yeah, I'm just going to shut up and hit play. Alright, let's watch a bear and a dog fight to the death.
When it comes to public service, two animals have gone far beyond the call of duty.
They're known throughout the world as the symbols of safety. So let's make them fight to the death.
Because why not?
Smokey Bear, the firefighting mascot of forest safety.
And Mcgruff the Crime Dog, taking a bite out of crime wherever he goes.
He's Whiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. I'm looking forward to seeing that animation.
1944, America's forests faced an ever-increasing threat. With nearly 16 million men battling Nazis overseas, little manpower remained to combat the
I love the
spread
little
of forest fires.
comic book
Every year,
things that they were
30
just
million
popping up there.
acres of trees would go up in smoke.
Damn, that's even more trees than Snoop Dogg can burn.
America needed a new hero, someone who could prevent these disastrous blazes from occurring in the first place.
And then along came a lovable cartoon bear named Smokey.
So remember, only you can prevent forest fires.
As a mascot, Smokey Bear did what he could to inspire
I like the music.
American people. He even
cheery.
partnered with Bambi to teach the ways of fire safety. However, Smokey was still merely a dream, a figment of imagination, until one fateful day in the Capitan Mountains of New Mexico.
What do you know?
Oh, they're
A
bringing up
forest
the,
fire
bear
broke
cub.
out. The mountain trees were annihilated in a blaze so intense the 30 firefighters called to action were almost incinerated. Thousands
Jesus.
of forest critters either fled or died. All but
Damn.
one.
Atop a smoldering tree clung a lone survivor, a small black bear cub. His paws burnt, his family lost to the flames.
So after firefighters rescued him, there was only one name that fit. Smokey.
Well, first they named him Hotfoot Teddy, but they couldn't waste such a great PR opportunity.
Adopted into the National Zoo at Washington, D.C., young Smokey became the living symbol of fire prevention. They even made an animated short of his new official origin story, and it's pretty horrifying, actually.
I can imagine.
The public adored young Smokey. He received so much fan mail, he had to get his own zip code. And since then, Smokey has successfully helped prevent forest fires and promote fire safety for over 70 years.
Damn.
And boy, oh boy, has he done a good job.
Drown your campfires with water. Make sure it's totally wet. Then stir and drown again.
Indeed. In just the first 20 years, annual forest fire damage dropped over 80%.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
Smokey.
Good work, Smokey.
I've never started a forest fire in my entire life.
I don't believe that.
To my knowledge. I mean, I've had plenty of opportunities.
Well, I'm impressed. I didn't think you took anybody's advice so seriously.
Why wouldn't I take Smokey's? This guy started a fire safety club, picked up ventriloquism, and even taught the Addams family to put out fires.
Ah, yeah.
The people who love pain and things that are generally bad for you?
He's befriended the creatures of the forest, much like a Disney princess, and even infiltrated Disney itself to teach their characters about fire safety. Also, unlike most mascots at the time, he's successfully protected his dignity through the toughest social experience in recent history, the 90s.
Oh, God.
The forest. Protect
The fuck?
Oh, what am I doing? This isn't me.
Smoke, we agreed you'd talk to kids in their language.
I know, but I'll just give it to them straight.
Oh, and in case you forgot, he's also a goddamn bear.
Good on you,
An
Smokey.
American black bear, to be precise. The largest black bears are over 7 feet tall and exceed 800 pounds, which seems to match Smokey's own size.
Smokey's got plenty to fight with, like his razor-sharp claws, his trusty shovel, and enough muscle to rip your arm off Chewbacca
Oh my
style.
God.
And then you have to worry about fighting a bear that's armed.
Was that a pun? It wasn't even bear-related.
Wiz, you can't even bear the amount of puns I've
Oh my
made.
God, they got a pun counter.
As if. Unlike Boomstick, Smokey isn't one to just do the bear.
Is that gonna
minimum.
pop up? Yes!
In fact, bears in general are quite durable creatures thanks to their stout anatomy, including a skeleton so stable it endures long hibernation without withering.
You better believe Smokey is strong too. Bears his size can break
I love how they
trees
got the
and
counter for
boulders
this.
weighing more than 350 pounds. When he was just a cub, Smokey even smashed this shitty little house to bits.
He's surprisingly stealthy, able to sneak up on people in broad daylight with barely a sound. Also, black bears can run up to 30 miles per hour.
That's what makes the bear cavalry so dangerous. Aside from that, he's accomplished many
Wait, he defeated a gorilla.
feats to keep the forest safe, like manipulating time.
And also, he
Jesus!
disguised himself as a woman without
Wait,
bearing
what?
any resemblance to his real body. Boomstick, why don't you introduce his greatest feat with your baritone voice?
Prepare
Oh my God.
yourself, because Smokey can magically grow so large he's bigger than Godzilla. Look at the size of him.
All just to emphasize a point, much like how I'm owning this unbearable pun war.
Oh, I'm still going.
I love the fact they've got Anchorman going too.
Because I can do this all day. You're gonna be so embarrassed when you lose.
No, that'll never happen when it's me versus you.
Ha! You missed a bear pun. You're out.
Ursus is Latin for bear.
It
moron.
is.
Ah, damn it! You know Latin's my weakness. If only I was a bear, then my only weakness would be bear traps, bear repellent, and bear mace. You know, shit that people had to make to stop bears since they're so unstoppable.
There are some techniques to increase your chances of surviving a bear attack. Some say you can punch your arm down their throat to induce uncontrollable vomiting. Although I wouldn't recommend that because you're definitely going to lose your arm.
And it's gross.
Honestly, all you can really do is make yourself look as large and intimidating as possible.
Now, I know a foolproof way to escape a bear. You just gotta be faster than the guy next to you.
Well, it's a good
That's
thing
one way of
Smokey
doing
chose
it.
a life of education and isn't chasing people down. The last thing you want after you is an 8-foot-tall bear with a giant shovel and a grudge.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Smokey, look, Smoke!
I gotta get back to the forest.
I love the fact that he just said no to the rap
Let me
video
take you
too.
on a trip back to the late 1970s, also known as the feel-good decade. A time where individualism and personal liberation took center stage.
So,
But
are they gonna
not
do a pun
everybody
counter
took that
for
as a sign
McGruff
of
as well,
peace.
or was that just for Smokey?
Yeah, domestic crime was getting bad. Like, really bad.
I got the feeling it's just gonna be for Smokey.
At the turn of the decade, the American people made a hero to save them from themselves. A dog in a trench coat.
This case
What else?
began his campaign modestly enough, but he needed a name. After 8 months of polling, he was given one, along with an unforgiving...
Giving him a name must have been a Mcgruff time.
Mcgruff the Crime Dog.
Focused and determined to make that bite count, Mcgruff hit the streets hard and fast. In just a year, more than 50% of Americans had seen at least one Mcgruff advertisement.
It's because teenagers are the victims of over 2,000 violent crimes by strangers every day. You can help stop it.
That's because he was willing to get his job done by any means possible, even if it meant ultimate embarrassment. He used commercials, cartoons, comic books, video games, musicals.
He even released his own anti-drug album with such classic singles as Crack and Cocaine.
Cause nobody's needing that crack and cocaine, making a mess of your mind.
And
I've
Inhalants.
got respect for this.
You'll be suffering pain. Cause inhalants kill.
Yeah, it's really, really bad.
As Mcgruff's plan generally targeted children...
Maybe,
rather
but
than
I respect the
current
message.
criminals, it required patience and time. But it worked. Over the next few decades, crime dropped exponentially. The next generation of America was smarter and safer.
Now, some of you are probably thinking, hey, you can't prove Mcgruff was responsible for all of that. And I say to you, can you prove he wasn't?
Regardless, Mcgruff...
No, I
certainly had
cannot,
a
so
massive
you got me
impact,
there,
leading
Boomstick.
the charge against crime.
I mean, that's seriously impressive, considering all my dog does is sit around licking his balls.
Mcgruff's not just any dog. He's a 6-foot-tall bipedal bloodhound, a dog breed known for their excellent sense of smell, an extremely powerful bite, and floppy, adorable ears. Scaling him to your average...
Oh my god, he's your monster
Mcgruff can
truck.
likely run 45
Oh,
miles
little
per
Jay
hour,
will love
jump
him.
10 feet high, and bite with enough pressure to break bones.
And unlike my dog, Mcgruff wears a cool trench coat, which not only protects him from the rain and cold, but gives off a neat detective vibe.
However, unlike Thailand's Air Chief Marshal, Mr. Fufu,
Rest in peace, buddy.
true story, Mcgruff doesn't appear to hold an official police rank. He calls himself a pre-tective, which is just as fake as it sounds.
Oh, wait. If a crime hasn't happened yet, then how does he know to stop it? That's like some Minority Report shit.
He possesses a certain set of skills to do so. He has a keen eye for details and context clues. He's exceptional at analyzing and predicting potential crimes in progress.
Wow.
So he can predict what's gonna happen with a few context clues, but that doesn't mean much if he can't stop a mugging or whatever.
Luckily, Mcgruff has plenty of tools and talents. When someone's in trouble, Mcgruff's circle of respect creates a force field.
Which is apparently the perfect defense against bullies.
While he's not an official member of the police force, he's been hanging around officers for decades, so it's not unreasonable to believe he's picked up some police combat training.
Being your own dog has its perks. For example, Mcgruff's car isn't a standard beat-up police cruiser, it's a friggin' monster truck. This bad mamma jamma is based on a 2010 Ford Super Duty with 540 cubic inches of gas-guzzling badassery.
Definitely an upgrade
Monster
over
trucks
the
are
original
cool.
96 model, though I'm not sure what this has to do with preventing crime.
Screw preventing crime! This beautiful beast prevents all kinds of other stuff, like boredom, being a little sissy, and small European cars from going unsmashed. That's enough for me.
Ironically, despite his
I have a friend who will like
skills and
that.
to stop crimes before they happen, he's more of a counselor than a protector, and doesn't actually step in all that often.
No, but he doesn't need to when he can freeze time.
Yes,
Oh,
Mcgruff
we can
is
do that
famous
too.
for pausing time and breaking the fourth wall to discuss an ongoing potential crime. Unfortunately, while pausing time, Mcgruff does not seem capable of interacting with the world around him.
That's Jenny, but that's not Jenny's dad. If she gets into that car, that may be the last time you'll see Jenny.
He doesn't even bother saving Jenny from her kidnapper.
Which means he was right. That was the last time we saw Jenny.
Oh god.
Still, Mcgruff's campaign has been wildly victorious. It's safe to say he succeeded in taking a bite out of crime.
Oh my god, we didn't even mention the reality flipping switch he has in his office. What the hell is up with that thing?
I'm Mcgruff the
So
Crime
it
Dog,
turns
and
live
I'm
action
here
to
help
cartoon
take down
and
violent
back.
crime.
Was wondering what the hell that was.
All right, the
We'll close that
combatants
up.
are set.
Phew.
Let's end this debate once and for all.
It's time for
And pause. Okay. I will admit I was thinking of not pausing during the middle and just watching and going with it. That was a plan, but I decided, nope, screw that, I am going to talk about this. I honestly... Okay. Truth be told, I did think, okay, this might just be kind of a joke, like... I don't know, like Deadpool vs. Pinkie Pie or Chuck vs. Segata, but Screw Attack have said there will be a victor by the end of this. I'd laugh so hard if it was safety, though. Something on those lines. But let's say it absolutely is going to end with one of these two dying. Then who is that going to be? And I think that's going to be Mcgruff, because from what I heard, it sounds like Smokey may win. Just because of the sheer amount of ridiculous stuff he can do. Like when he was a cub, he tore a house down. He can stop time. And yes, Mcgruff can do that too, but he doesn't interact with what's going on. Well, I think Smokey could. So, kind of helps out with that. There's disguising himself, but then again, Mcgruff was able to deduce like so much with only like a few clues. But Smokey didn't even resemble like himself. Oh, and there's being as big as Godzilla. So he could just win. At least that's what I think is going to happen. They didn't mention anything about Mcgruff having a gun, which was something I thought could play a factor. But I also joked on the podcast that we recently did that if he pulls out the gun, they might just do like this really awesome fight scene sort of thing. Like just go full anime with it, where Smokey pulls out the shovel and just deflects the bullets. So that's one thing that I always thought was going to happen. But anyway, I'm not going to ramble on too much. I just want to see this animation. I think the Smokey may end up winning, although I'm still open to the idea of it being one of those kinds of fights where the winner is something that isn't one of these two. But we're ending with one of them dying. My money is on Mcgruff dying and Smokey winning. So that's what I think is going to happen. Oh, and one last thing. I mentioned in the sidebar that I believe it said that Smokey beat a gorilla. Well, we just talked about on the podcast how a gorilla would beat the ever-loving shit out of a bear. So, yeah. I'm going to say that Smokey is going to win. But if he doesn't, then oh well. At least we get a new kind of fight animation that we have not got in Death Battle so far. So, I'm just going to shut up, hit play, and see what blind fare it has to offer. And play.
Remember, kids, fire is a dangerous tool which should never be left unattended.
Well,
Time to go.
Oh, that's why they're fighting. He just lets the forest catch fire.
Could have prevented that forest fire. Fool.
And why didn't you, Smokey? I mean, Mcgruff, sorry. Jesus, where's Smokey? Like in the animation and the music, it really fits. And they got the sound effects too. This is great.
You should learn to respect your surroundings. I'll show you respect.
Oh yeah, the force field. The classic running thing. That's what it feels like. All the cartoons I watched when I was a kid. Oh. Oh, he's.
Remember, kids, if you're about to be mauled by a bear. Stupid dog.
Oh yeah, the monster truck. Why didn't I account for that? Oh, but Smokey ain't done yet. You can... At least I hope he's not. Oh, shit.
Not even you can prevent this.
Remember, kids.
He's really doing this.
Remember me.
Oh! You gotta put the first... And he still puts the first out. That's great.
Looks like Mcgruff had a rough time out there. Smokey was clearly the stronger combatant, thanks to being a giant bear, really.
Yeah.
Mcgruff wasn't totally outclassed. His greater speed and smaller size made the battle quite tedious for Smokey. But that's about it.
Yeah, he couldn't compete with Smokey in anything else. It's like my grandpappy always said, why have a guard dog when you can get a guard bear?
But what truly mattered in this battle were their unique abilities, and in that, Mcgruff didn't stand a chance. When Mcgruff paused time, he couldn't affect the world around him, while Smokey has shown that he can.
Ah!
And really, what are you gonna
Got
do
that
against
right.
a bear that can grow to the size of a mountain?
So, Bear beats
Not
Dog,
much.
Smokey's powers were superior, and ultimately Smokey had far more options to take Mcgruff down for good.
Smokey was just more than Mcgruff could bear. Yeah, one last bear bud. Suck it, Wiz.
Nice
The
one.
winner is Smokey Bear.
Congrats, Smokey.
Stick around, we're about to announce the combatants for the next death.
Alright, who is
If you
it?
wanna watch exclusive
I know
commentary,
Torian's animating
click the
this.
box over there and start a first membership trial.
4? Oh!
Only you can prevent forest fires. Click the link below and help save lives.
I love that they included that at the end. Anyway, that was a great fight. Like, the animation, Blind Ferret, just... Wow, you did great. Like, adding in a bunch of the cartoony sound effects. It was just like the bong and the like running sound effect that I've heard in Scooby-Doo quite a lot. So, I just thought that was absolutely brilliant. And just stuff like pausing time. Remember, kids, when you're about to be mauled by a bear. Black. And that last line. Remember, kids. Remember me. I felt kind of bad for Mcgruff there. But what could he have done? Oh well, and I mean, yeah, I don't know these two very well, other than things I heard, but from what I did hear in comparison to this, Chris Rager and Chris Sabat, wow, you guys were brilliant. Like, I really like those voices. I really do. So, good job. I mean, that's if either of them are watching this. I doubt it, but you never know. Yeah, and like I said, Blind Ferret, you did great. I would absolutely love it if Blind Ferret... If anyone from Blind Ferret is watching, please do more death battles in the future. Please. If Death Battle ever does, Mickey versus Bugs or something along those lines, please. From what I've seen of this, that would just be perfect. So, overall, episode was great. Love the animation. Hope the Blind Ferret comes back for more. And I am happy that I got it right for the right reasons. I mean, yeah, I forgot about a few things, but I still got the result right, so... Anyway, that next time, Thor versus Wonder Woman. Now, I've got to discuss a few things. Like, for instance, on my Twitter, I posted a one like, and I'll post a death battle idea. I mentioned Thor versus Wonder Woman because I noticed that the actors for Thor and Wonder Woman actually talked about the matchup on Twitter, briefly. So I thought, let's see how this would actually go. There's that. Oh, I also, on my old department at work, I discussed this matchup with a couple of people. We couldn't really come to a concrete conclusion. So, this will settle it once and for all. Hopefully. And lastly, I remember Ben said a bunch of times that if Wonder Woman was gonna come back, that one idea was for her to fight Kratos, because, you know, Greek gods and everything, but to be honest, I kind of like this matchup a bit more. Like, Greek god versus Norse god, Marvel versus DC. And they're both really powerful characters, so this is going to be great. And the fact that it's animated by Torian, oh boy. Oh, and we've had death battles with one returning combatant like previously, but this is the first time that we've had two. And, well, each of them had different results. Spoiler for anyone who hasn't seen previous death battles, but Wonder Woman fought Rogue, and didn't exactly end well for her. So is that 4 for Raiden, and, well, I mean, they have constantly said that they think, well, Screw Attack have said that they think that was one of the most one-sided fights they've ever done. They just felt bad for Raiden. So it'll be interesting to see one person who won their death battle and one person who lost, like, clash to fight each other. And also, I imagine I'm using footage from the Wonder Woman movie, for the Dark World, Avengers Age of Ultron, like, all the new stuff that has come out for both of these characters since. So yeah, it's gonna be good, and I mean, Thor Ragnarok ain't far off. And we just had the Wonder Woman movie this year. So it's a nice little tie-in there. Anyway, I've rambled on too long. Love this episode. Cannot wait for that next one. And that's about it. Anyway, thanks for watching, all of that stuff, and here's my Tracer outro. Bye.
Hello loves, Tracer here. You've just watched a video by your only mate. Subscribe, like, comment, and check out his other stuff. Cheers loves!